Thank you, Don. We have 2 questions left. Just a quick round of applause. Haven't these candidates done great sticking to their time limits? So we have not had to use the hook. So no hook. So second to last question. We're almost home. So some of you have touched on this a little bit earlier in some previous responses. Scott, this question starts with you. What role can the county play in workforce development? A minute 30. Thank you, Scott.
Well, I think the county plays a big role, but workforce development has been a strange system that the state has kind of neglected Southwest Iowa and Pot County being part of it. I think we continue to work with all the partners, Advanced Southwest Iowa being one of them, the Council Bluffs Chamber, all the little communities out there, and have I think a task force put together on what are the needs that each of those communities are seeing and what the industries are the trends the industry are seeing. And your recent study that you guys did, and it was like pulling teeth to get that done by the state, it seemed like. And that workshed study should be done on a regular basis and should be, I guess, shared with all the people out there. I think some of the greatest partners we have are the high schools and the junior highs and all the educational institutions along with Iowa Western on getting these kids exposed to the opportunities that are out there for them into the future.
Glenn, same question.
Well, the county is one of the largest sources of contract labor and construction jobs in the area. This is where we have an opportunity to hold those contractors to a standard where they're providing their employees with living wages, with benefits, and with the services that are necessary, health care, for people to live happy, safe, free lives in our county and to want to stay and live in our county. If we're not paying good wages, then the number of jobs, the 2,600 jobs, 2,700 jobs that the chamber identified that are going to come, if those aren't good paying jobs, then those aren't necessarily good jobs for Potawatomi County. So I think it's very important that we talk about good jobs, and so I took a little exception to what Justin shared about, that there are good jobs here in this county. There are plenty of people who are working 40, 60 hours a week who are not able to make ends meet, and they're very reasonable ends in Potawatomi County. I don't foresee a growth of 60,000 people in our county as well. We're the redheaded stepchild of Omaha, Nebraska, and they're going to keep us at bay as long as they can, and they're going to limit our growth. So we're going to have to be actively bold in trying to support our labor market.
Lynn?
I think we really need to work with the workforce, and I would like to, I live out in an area where there's a lot of employment. We have about 1,000 people that works there at OSI, and a lot of those employees come from Atlantic. But we need to, I think, work on housing so these people got a place to live when they get here and work out some kind of a system. These towns are ready to explode and build more homes. And they're doing a pretty good job at it now, but I think it needs to be tweaked. And so, excuse me.
Thank you, Lynn. Justin?
I think Potawatomi County, the board, can play a huge role in workforce development. I'm gonna just kind of highlight a couple things. Number one, you keep the taxes down. Make it so that a business wants to put a business in our county so they can provide good jobs for people so they can be in our county and live here. The other piece, and I'll kind of highlight some things that Scott mentioned too about, talk to the schools, talk to the high schools, talk to the colleges, which we do and we have. Another big one is just go and talk to these businesses and see what they want. I happen to work for an employer that employs about 65 people. We have very little turnover, but we give opportunities to folks. One plant like where I work provides up to 3,500 jobs. So the key is to go out there and try to find businesses that can do similar types of things. Another thing, and I'm just going to highlight some of the chamber's efforts, and especially Lori Shields in the back. You know, she helped champion a thing called Home Base Iowa. And for those of you who don't know, that's a program through the state of Iowa, through the governor, that employs 10% of the workforce as veterans. We have some of those highly qualified people living in our community. Almost 9% of those people are right here, right now, and they can fulfill those great jobs. So, you know, we play a huge part in that. And I think the key at the end is just continue to push economic development as much as you can.
Thank you, Justin. Francis, what role can the county play in workforce development?
I see this as two pieces. In workforce development proper, there are the education aspects for folks on what they need to know and how they need to be formally educated. And I will stand beside the craft labor. I will stand beside the folks that are taking the trades and want to pursue that avenue. That is critical. That is critical for our workforce development. And of course, we have to find and work on making sure we can retain that talent once we develop it. My husband is a union iron worker. I know a lot of people here already know that. And myself, while I'm a mechanical engineer, just with a little twist with fate, I probably would have been a machinist, a professional machinist, and I would have worn that proudly. And where I was looking to do this and where I was looking to develop my talents, there was also a position for me to become employed.
Thank you, Francis. Tom?
Well, and there's so many things that have been said, but I think it comes down to this. You know, we are a county that we're in the 900,000 metropolitan area. We live in the largest metropolitan area of the state of Iowa. What the county can do to develop a plan to say, how can we grow, which we will grow, and how do we develop the jobs that are needed? The chamber studied on 53 businesses. These are 53 existing businesses that are going to need 2,600 jobs, and they're all good quality jobs. If you talk to an employer and ask them what they need well-educated, well-skilled people in a lot of different professions. We know that. What we can do as a county board is develop a plan, maybe to working throughout the school district, Iowa Western, all the cities, to develop a plan and saying, what can we do, Mr. or Mrs. Business owner? What is it we can do? Go in the schools, start talking to these students when they're in 7th, 8th, 9th grade, as they start to graduate from high school. These are the skilled jobs that are available. In the next 20 years, you can have a job that's good paying, good quality opportunity in Potawatomi County.
Robert, same question.
Okay. I've heard we should raise wages. I've heard we should invite businesses, but if we do invite businesses, does that mean we're going to give them a tax break? I don't think we should give them a tax break, but we shouldn't be raising our taxes either. We should be cutting our taxes. And also, to grow the workforce by education, okay, my hometown, we have a shop we have a shop teacher. We have shops, and our school also has a program with Iowa Western for seniors who are, or juniors who are advanced in the classes can go and study college in high school. Technically, there's not much we can do in the education field because all of our education is tied in with Washington, D.C. So, but even if the education was turned on this, or was given to the states, the Des Moines won't share that power with us because they want to control how these kids read and learn. Recently, West Harrison got dropped down to 8-man football because they've been losing population in their school. It's to track to grow a workforce. We need to really keep our hands out of the economy before we can let the economy grow. So that's all.
Thank you, Robert. Don, what role can the county play in workforce development?
Well, I think all the information given by the candidates have been good. One of the things that I guess hasn't been mentioned that maybe we could do as a county is to work with all sectors of businesses and to establish basically and fund a year-round internship with high school kids also graduate, undergrads and also graduate students. The other thing that we have to do is we have to remember that it's a lifetime of learning for, whether it be through workforce development or any other job that you have. But I guess in doing that, and as we grow, the economy and grow the number of people that we do, we will have to, start helping these small communities, bedroom communities, with their housing. So anyway, what we have to do, I guess, to look forward to making this county a better place to live, play, and work.
Thank you, Don. Marcia?
I hear a lot of talk about education, but I sit here and I wonder, what will education look like 15 to 20 years from today, especially when our unicameral of Iowa keeps cutting their budgets and not giving our teachers any raises. And then I look at our elementary schools and I say to myself, these kids that I work with on a daily basis, because I mentor so many of them, are wondering about their future themselves. And some of them are saying, I can't afford to go to college. What am I going to do in the future? And I tell them there will be good jobs available for you. There's a lot of opportunities in the area of the skilled labor aspects. I just had my nephew go into one of those areas just about a year ago, and it was because he was inspired by his uncle to do so. And so we set our examples for the people to follow us and for the children of the future. So I guess I would say, when you're talking, what are we going to be like in the future and what's our workforce going to be like? Look at yourself. What are you doing?